Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And today we are adding one more thing to our debuff list that we did not talk about last time. Now, a lot of you guys noticed when I did my debuff 101 guide where I pretty much covered every single debuff in the game, but a lot of you guys said, where's target lock? I don't see target lock on this list. Well, I did that intentionally because target lock is a very, very unique debuff that doesn't have a set defined effect. There's a lot of other effects in the game that could happen as a result of target lock, and I felt it deserves its own video, mainly because it's also in ships alone and it's not something you see everywhere else, so it deserves a video of its own and a nice explanation. So that's going to be our 101 topic for today, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So to start off our class session, we have to define what target lock is, and I'll put up a picture of what target lock is for the second time in case you're not familiar with the debuff icon. And essentially all target lock says when you tap and hold to look for a definition, it just says enemy attacks gain bonuses. Well, what type of bonuses? There's so many different things out there, and I'm going to break this up into 3 segments because target lock, in my opinion, has 3 different aspects to it. The first portion of target lock is application. Now, there are some characters that simply apply target lock, and that is it. But it is an important thing because without target lock, you don't gain those bonus effects. But at the same time, just applying target lock does not necessarily mean every single time something will trigger. It is a necessary condition, but not a sufficient one. The second aspect of target lock that I like to think about is the first party benefits that ensue when attacking a person who has target lock on them. And what I mean by that is when you attack someone who has target lock, you're automatically going to gain something that benefits yourself, or you are going to apply something to that enemy immediately. And there's a third aspect of target lock that I still want to talk about, and that is third-party triggered benefits. And what I mean by that is when you attack someone who has target lock on them, you in turn are benefiting someone else. You're giving someone else something, or in turn you're triggering someone else's special effects upon target lock being attacked or target lock being applied. And we're going to talk about all 3 of those aspects, but let's go ahead and talk about the application portion first. Now, the application is simply like our previous debuff videos that we talked about, where you need to apply the effect to someone, just like the other ones. However, unlike the previous debuff video, this debuff does not have immediate effects. You can apply the target lock and not have any additional benefits pursue afterwards if you do not have the right characters with you. But this is a necessary condition in order for those bonus effects to take place. And a few examples of characters who can apply target lock are characters like Biggs, Darklighters, X-Wing, Imperial TIE Fighter, the First Order TIE Fighter, Bastan's Ewing, Darth Maul Scimitar, who can apply a target lock on reinforced enemies, and there are definitely many others who can go ahead and apply target lock. Now that we talked about the application portion of target lock, let's go ahead and move on to the second aspect of it, and that is the first party benefits that ensue and the immediate detrimental effects that you can apply to a targeted enemy. When a character who has abilities that hinge on target lock attacks an individual with that target lock already applied, they can gain immediate benefits or apply things immediately to that enemy they just hit. For example, when Wedge's X-Wing attacks a target locked enemy, he applies damage over time, so he's going ahead and applying a more detrimental effects to that enemy immediately. Boba Fett gains turn meter upon attacking a target locked enemy, so he's benefiting himself, and there are many other first party benefits in this game. We now have one more thing to talk about, and that is the third-party benefits that get triggered upon applying target lock or upon attacking someone with target lock. So let's go ahead and get right into that topic. And lastly, there are the third-party benefits, meaning when one character attacks a target-locked enemy, they either grant other people bonuses or they may trigger other people's target lock bonuses. For example, one of my personal favorites is when target lock gets applied and then someone then makes Biggs taunt, which is great. Taunt is a great mechanism in ships, and this third-party trigger makes the game a lot different. Another example of this is Ahsoka Tano. When she attacks a target-locked enemy, she grants a third party on her team evasion up. And Jedi Counselor, another example, he can grant other allies defense up when attacking a target locked enemy. So those are examples of when target lock gets applied, it just triggers other people's abilities like Biggs Darklighter, and then you have examples like Ahsoka Tano and Jedi Counselor where they grant buffs to other characters when attacking a target locked enemy. So there you have it, guys. Those are the 3 aspects of how I like to look at target lock. Now I hope you guys understand why I did not include that in my previous debuff guide, because it's a much more, I don't want to say complicated, but a much more advanced negative status effect in the game. There are so many ways it can apply, and my biggest tip for this is go ahead and do your research on these ships. There are pretty much 2 ways you can do your research. One is you can go to the ship inventory in the game and just tap on the abilities and see if they apply target lock, what happens when target lock gets activated. Just do your research, and then you can kind of start putting ships together. Another pointer is when you're looking at these abilities, if you see the red text that says target lock, all that means is that will trigger upon target lock being applied, or target lock already being on an enemy. So if someone has target lock on them and you attack them, you will go ahead and activate that, which might be gaining turn meter, applying debuffs, all that stuff we've already talked about. Or in battle, in case you forgot what these ships do, because it's not as memorizable as some other things, you can just go ahead in the bottom right corner where you see your attacks, tap and hold on those abilities, and all of a sudden you'll get a nice little description of what it does. Again, just to jog your memory, I do it almost every single time in battle to remind myself how to use target lock to my advantage. So I hope this short video on target lock will help you become better in ships, because if you're great at ships, you will get more ship currency. You can get some of the awesome ships in the game like Boba Fett's or Darth Maul's, and it might be an important thing in the future when they might develop ships into something more. It's all on the table. Who knows what can happen, and it's also great to get those Zeta Mat abilities one day. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, you might want to check out this video. This is the complete debuff guide on what we did last time. And if you guys are interested, this video over here will be coming soon, where we start talking about the buffs. We will have a buffs 101 guide where we talk about the buffs individually so we can master them and get us better at the game, because they are super important. If you can, guys, please leave me a like on this video, comment down below, and subscribe. And we will talk again soon. Peace out.